Enrico Warkvez was born in 2904 in Naples, Italy. When he was a boy, his life was no different from other children, but when he was 15 years old, he volunteered for the CSCA, Civil Security Combat Academy. He studied there for more than 3 years, but what he learned there is already an interesting question. Martial arts, the ability to manage and work with weapons, and, most importantly, endurance. The most important thing that can be in this academy, because it is civil security, is renowned for the endurance and strength of its troops. After the academy, the guys joined the National Italian Organization Against Terrorism, or abbreviated NILT. Many people did not respect him there because he was young and insecure. But after at the age of 22, Enrico was perceived as a normal companion and soldier. His appearance was unremarkable, dark eyes, brown hair, and in general he was not muscular. But due to numerous trainings and missions, his body had a good body. His height was 1.82 meters, which was not surprising because all Italians were of average height, men from 1.65 to 1.90, and a woman from 1.55 to 1.70, and his weight was average, 85 kilograms. His character was neutral, but when he talked with his friends, he was always friendly and did not like to offend them. The reason for this is his past, but this will be later. Many years have passed since joining this organization. Many missions have passed, many incidents, many conflicts. But one day, everything went down the drain. Namely on September 23rd, 2929, when the street where the mayor of the city was located was seized in the city of Milan. And of course, the NILT team and Enrico couldn't just look at it, so they went to rescue the mayor and clear the area from the rebels. Everything happened quickly and smoothly, but suddenly out of nowhere, homing rockets flew into the heroes. As a result, 4 out of 10 people. 4 died, 2 were seriously injured, and the rest, including Enrico, had minor injuries. But Enrico lost his little finger due to a piece of shrapnel that got there. But it's good that there were 2 doctors in their team. One was a specialist and the other was a beginner. But nevertheless, the doctors managed to grow a little finger on the guy's hand. You ask how? Everything is simple, only the main thing is to find your lost limb. Unless, of course, it is destroyed to pieces. After completing the mission and rescuing the mayor, the soldiers reported that their people were so well demolished by missiles, the headquarters ordered them to return to the base for further action. Upon his return, Captain Tito Canales speaking with the crew members, especially Enrico, because he did not go according to planned tasks, and the guy often did non-standard actions in extreme cases. Even in simple situations, he had to get out. Because of this, the captain ordered the young hero to stay at the headquarters, because he could ruin everything on the mission. Enrico was not angry, he was interested in the enemies who almost blew them up. On September 25th, 2929, 3 large military trucks arrived at NILT headquarters, engraved with CS. People left the transport without weapons and asked to open the gate so that they could pass, and talk with the captain and the soldiers. People introduced themselves as CSSO, Civil Security Spec Ops. Enrico was very surprised when he found out, because this is an organization only for the elite troops of the country. Italy, France, America, China, Ukraine, Russia, Germany, and Africa. They revealed that the old military organization, Ray's Task Force, wants to take away the civil security soldiers because Ray's is considered the most powerful army in the world, so they came here in search of the recruits. When they ended the conversation, the CS captain introduced his team, which included a certain Ivan Cipher, a Ukrainian soldier, and the captain's left hand. And then Enrico remembered that he had seen Ivan at the age of 15, when he was still in the academy, but their paths diverged and then converged again. And so Enrico found his old friend and left NILT. Left NILT because in civil security, every human have their rights and choices. That means Enrico can fight with his own rules. Of course, together they discuss a lot of things: life, war, love, politics. Finally, Enrico signed a contract for dismissal from the position of a soldier. By the way, his class was very difficult. Ranger, its essence was that they knew about everything which is related to weapons. computers, but their main purpose is to be the leader of the squad. This is the role of a ranger, and of course, they were serious fighters on the battlefield, but Enrico did not have such opportunities due to the incomprehensible conditions of Nyapt. In the end, he was an ordinary infantryman, which gave him nothing but obey only the elder, Captain Grado said. Let's move on to the main character. The next day, Enrico has already arrived at the CSSO base. Was pleasantly surprised because the society and their organization was good, and everyone helped each other with problems. And so when Captain Burgess introduced the new recruits to everyone, that is, Enrico, others did not take him as a soldier, and when the captain introduced him to everyone, one of his mercenaries said, "Hey, blockhead, nothing more." But Enrico did not pay attention to this, since he had high physiological support and not in vain, because initially everyone was rotten, like in Nyapt. But after a while, everyone got used to him. Though constant assignments and trainings, the fighters did not have time to meet and chat. But one day, our infantrymen managed to talk to one of the best mercenaries in civil security, namely Mike Orvell, a strict, muscular man who always smoked cigars. Brown hair, blue eyes, but most importantly, height and weight, 1.95 and 108 kilograms. And so they started a conversation with Mike, but together with Ivan. "Hey, hi. Probably know my name, right?" Enrico said. But Mike did not answer, and then our hero began to apply his methods. "Shitbag? It's you? I know it's you." And then Mike reacted and said, "Fuck you, damn Italian. Okay, what do you want from me? Cigar? I don't smoke. I just asked, and you probably swing a lot," Enrico replied. "He has been with us for more than 8 years. No one has been able to stop him yet," added Ivan. "Sorry for my stupid words. We better start our conversation first. What's your name?" "Mike Orvell. But to you, I'm Uncle Mike." "By the way, what country are you from? America?" said Enrico. "Yes, kid, I'm Cuban. And you?" "Probably the Romans," answered Mike. "No, I'm from a poor city, Naples. There have always been terrorist attacks and wars in my city." "Oh, you haven't been to Cuba yet. We have wars with drug sales there. I remember when I was 25 years old, I was a hired killer. Then, my task was to destroy a whole plant of marijuana, opium, heroin, and so on. Of course, not myself. 5 more people helped me. However, all have died a long time ago except for one. It's not hard to guess who. You are," said Enrico. "Honestly, I expected more Warkvez from you. I didn't want to say it, but you're a fool. You really are a fool. Only I and my old friend Lauren Holster survived. He's already retired. He had steel balls." "And how old are you? You look young, but your voice is harsh," Enrico asked. 37. Yes, there is such a thing. Because of the cigars, my voice deteriorated. Even Cypher will prove to you that my voice was very light like yours." On this, their conversation ended, and ahead of him he met Nixie H, an assassin girl who gets very angry when Enrico talks to her. The conversation did not start very well. The girl was 24 years old, and her height was 1.62 meters. Weight, 54 kilograms. And she was a little thin herself, and her character was a little formidable, but not just like in Mike. "Hey, hello, you probably know my name, right?" says Enrico in a good mood. "Shut up, it's better not to contact me at all, especially you," answered Nixie H. "Don't be a bore. I know that you like to communicate. You just hide it. You're an assassin in your class, aren't you? Tell me, what do you want from me?" "I was interested to know your name. We do not know so much about each other. My name's Enrico. How are you?" But then Nixie got mad and pushed him to the wall and said, "Why do you have such a character? Why are you talking so strange, as if you're a fool? Tell me." Come, baby, I just don't like to offend people. This is already a personal reason." "But the soldiers, on the contrary, should be strict and merciless. You want to say that you're a crybaby?" "No, dear people, they must communicate and be in peace and harmony. But the enemies? I hate them. Especially those who killed my mother. I still cannot find them. And I became a soldier not because of this, but because I have a dream. To give the world its former harmony. So that people can take care of each other. So that everyone has their own ideas, their freedom, and most importantly, their devotion to their loved ones. Maybe I put it wrong. What a difference. I'm sorry, I couldn't even think that you were such a person. To be honest, I thought you were a real bastard. I'm sorry again. My name is Nixie. Nice to meet you. Enrico Warkvez. She wanted to shake his hand, but he just hugged her. She surprisingly liked it, but she hated hugs, and so she abruptly moved away from him and said, "Enough, I'm not some kind of cute. I'm a killer and I'm a soldier." After that, she left, and Enrico was surprised, because it was just a friendly hug. He didn't want to seduce her. He just showed that he was not evil, but a kind person. The next member of the team was very sociable. It was a medic named Kevin Walker. They had a sincere conversation because the two of them had a favorite pastime, this weapon. The fighter was 28 years old, average height 1.77, and weight of 69 kilograms. The character was cheerful and friendly, but if he is evil, then it's better to move away from him. Next is Captain Burkvez. Honest, formidable, loyal, and his gaze frightened and, on the contrary, attracted women to him. His main assistant is Ivan Cypher and then Enrico himself. With him, he spoke more than with his team. Except for Ivan. The next part will be coming soon.